things. So welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna continue from, probably not from exactly from where I left off, but this segment is this one is for is a trip from Gulu to Jinja. So Jinja, the place called Jinja is where the source of the Nile, source of the White Nile is. And if you didn't watch the first video, this would be the third one. So I would advise you go back and watch the first one and the second one before watching this third one. And if you want to go ahead, please do so. You can catch up later, but it would fit better. So we after seeing that television program or advert, I wanted to go and see the source of the White Nile. So my wife brother volunteered to come with me. So we left Gulu early in the morning. About 6 a.m. And we start making our way to Kampala. We took public transport. So we take the bus, and the cost at that time was about 25,000 Uganda shilling per person. So if you work that out, it's about 5 pound, 6 pound maximum per person to go from Gulu in the north of Uganda to Kampala, which is central Uganda, which is the city or the capital. So in between Gulu and Kampala, for that particular trip, I've not got much to say. But starting at Kampala, from the bus station, when we get down at the bus station, which is a northern bus station, they have different bus stations for different regions. So we get down at the northern bus station, and we're looking to get a bus or a taxi or a minivan to go to Jinja. So we get a boda. So boda is like a bike taxi. So because it's two of us, we get two boda. We could have get one. In the village we can use one, two of us ride on one, but in the city they prefer it's preferably if you get one for each. So we talk to the boda, tell them where we want to go. First find out the cost to get there, because sometimes if you're not careful and you just jump on a bike, they could charge you whatever price when they get to the place, and then you got to pay because they already take you there. So my thing is to first check the price before we move, so that when we get there we don't have any misunderstanding. Anybody who's traveling is supposed to do these things or check these things, because then you have issues. So when we get to the taxi park, they call it the taxi park for the Jinja cabs or Jinja minivan. It's so similar to Jamaica, because they were like, when people load in the bus, calling out, going here, people going there, Jinja, and then one is halfway load, and then one don't have no, maybe one or two people in there. So I wanted to go into the one that almost ready, because I'm in a hurry. But the other one, whoever was loading the vehicle was trying to force us into into his vehicle that he's loading, and not the one that I want to go in or we want to go in. So I was a bit annoyed, but in the end, I think what happened is the one that I wanted to go in had to pay the one that's loading the other bus so that he could get us as a passenger. So in other words, they would say they sold the passenger to that person or to that bus or to that minivan. So now we left Kampala. We are on our way to Jinja. We get halfway there, I would say, in my estimation. And there is an accident. As they said, there's a very bad accident on the road. So they have to either do what? Turn back or do a diversion. Now we don't know where we're going because it's my first time. It's also his first time. So none of us know where we're going, but we just sit put because we're not the only persons or people on the bus. They go up the hill, down the hill, round the corner, some back street, and then they were back on track. So we get to Jinja at night. It was already night. It started to dark. I can't tell you exactly what time, but it was after 6. The difference with Jinja, in my opinion, and the rest of the place I've been in Uganda, because I've been to quite a few places. I've been to Alego, which is the border of South Sudan. I've been to Kasese, which is in the west. I've been to another place. I forget the name now, but I've been to another place, and most of those places are either dead level or not so hilly. But this is the first time I've first city or first town I've been where there's steep hill and corners. So it kind of reminds me of the place where I'm from in Jamaica. So I was born in Manchester in Jamaica, but grew up in Clarendon. So in Manchester, it's hilly. There's hilly, there's a lot of turning here and turning there and hills. But in Clarendon is quite level. So to me, Gulu remind me, or the northern region, Gulu remind me of Clarendon. And then when I get to Jinja, it remind me of Manchester. It's also very cool up there probably because of the water. The water is close by. The town was also kind of feel misty. But this story I want to tell you, if I could go back a bit, is when I was in Jinja, I wanted to buy a wallet, and the man said the wallet was 10,000 Uganda shilling. At the time, 10,000 Uganda shilling is about 250, which is not too bad. But when I get to Jinja now, I see a man walking around town selling wallet, and I wanted to buy the same wallet or something similar, and he was saying 20. So I said to him that no, I saw this wallet. I'm coming from Kampala. I just saw this wallet in Kampala for 10. And funny enough, the man said bring 10, and he took the 10,000 for the wallet, and there was no problem. So this is an advice again. So if you gotta buy something in Uganda, you can pay the full price if you want to, but I would advise, if it sounds too much, you probably try and because it look like it's a part of the thing, you probably try and barter it down a little bit, because sometimes they see you as foreigner, and as foreigner the price is a little bit more. So that's done. Around town, I saw a Rastaman. Also, I stopped a Rastaman in the arcade in town there, doing nails, which is something I never see before in Africa, even here in Europe. So that was also surprising. So we decided to look for a lodge or a hotel to stay for the night. We find one, but it wasn't too great. It was not safe in my opinion, because the door was a bit funny. But I was thinking we go in, we go in. When we go in, we shove the bed towards the door, and then we should have some little bit of safety. But after we check in and I pay the money, I can't remember how much. I said to my wife, brother, say, let us go and walk in town and just walk around town and see. And while we left there, pull up the door, keep our belongings, and we went into town because we couldn't leave our belongings because the door wasn't safe. So we took our bags with us. We walk around town. We find there was a night market. People was just putting out the stuff. So when in the day market people finish and they left. Now this is a night market and they're just putting out. The people trade 24 hours really. So while walking around town, we find another like another hotel, but this was like, he's got an American name. Can't remember the name of it, but it's like an American name, and it's an American type of hotel. So we check out the price. It wasn't too bad. It was about 30,000 for the night, which is about £7.50, or average about £8 per person. So we decided to check in there, but I already paid for the other one. So I said, you know what? Let's leave that because make sense. We go around and go ask them back for the money since we find another place. So we just decided to stay there instead. And I'm telling you, for that night, when we go out and walk around a little bit and time we go in a room and thing, there was one. We was in one room, but it was a big room, but you only got one bed and one mosquito net. And I'm telling you, I sorry for Raymond that night because I could hear mosquito singing everywhere. I could hear him knocking. Mosquito here biting him all over the place. But I was underneath the net, so I was safely away from the mosquito. Sometimes as a foreigner or someone that's not from the place, if you don't have a mosquito repellent, because I don't like to use it, then you ask for a net if there is none. A net sometimes is mandatory. Almost everywhere you go, there's a mosquito net in the hotel over the bed, so that you can go under the net and sleep. So you can hear them singing, but they can't get to you. Even if you have your malaria medicine, it's best to have a net at night. So another thing is the street, because I come out on the balcony and sit down, and just because it's right on the main road, I come on the balcony and sit down and watch what go on the street. And it was just busy until when I get tired, take a little drink, and until when I'm ready to go lie down. There was people roasting fish, people roasting chicken, people frying this, people doing that, people go in up and down the whole night. So the following morning, we get ourselves ready and start making our way towards the Nile. So in the morning come now, and we decide, say, all right, we're gonna start making our way towards the Nile. So we get ourselves ready and push out, as they say. We start, making inquiries of how to get to the source, and we get a taxi that take us to where we need to be. But when you get there, you need a guide, because you need a canoe or a boat to go out onto the lake. So it's been a while, so I can't remember exactly how much I paid. I paid the tour guide. We had a tour guide, and we pay for the boat, and we also pay for the tour guide. But before we went, we stopped at a monument. There was a monument there for the first Indian prime minister. There's a monument there for Mahatma Gandhi. Them said, this is what I'm told, that Indians come there sometime to pray, to give homage, and to, you know, to somehow to do a different activity what they do in them religion to the statue or the monument of Mahatma Gandhi. We also took some pictures there. I'm gonna try and see if I could put it either up there or over there or in the description box. I will see where I can put whatever I can find. Then after we leave there, we get on the boat. It's an engine boat. We get on the boat and we went out on the lake. We had some, life jacket, both of us, me and my wife, brother, and the tour guide, and we went out to the source. No, the Nile, the White Nile or the Nile itself is the longest river in the world. I will also try and put the length of the river somewhere over here, or again somewhere over there or down there. It's the longest river I run from. So the White Nile run from Uganda into Sudan and then into Egypt. The Blue Nile run from Ethiopia into Sudan, meet the White Nile, and then both of them run into Egypt, according to my research. So it's actually two Nile, not one, but they meet in Sudan and then go out into Egypt and then out into the Mediterranean. After we finish seeing where the source is, the way it look, it's so neat because where the water is coming from is shallow. It's shallow and it's like a spring, and then the water is just doing like that. It's like a long, like it go across like that, and then it's just coming up and bubbling up and doing like that. And imagine that little amount of water that's doing like that is a body of water. I don't know if anyone have been to Mansion Falls at Para and other places, would see how powerful this thing is. So it's from that little source you get all this great Nile from. So you got the White Nile from Uganda, and then you got the Blue Nile from Ethiopia, and then both of them meet in Sudan and then go into Egypt. When we left there, we went to the zoo. Number one, we go see snake and other things and other animals. We do a boat ride on the Lake Victoria, seeing fish farm and other things. We spend a good little time out there on the water. The water is so clear and nice, and then the boat driver was so gentle, and the guide was so informative. I will try and see if I could find his contact details and put in the description box so that people can get in contact with him. And if you want to go and see the source of the Nile. We also stop at a little bar. We have a drink. We have fish. I had fish and fried cassava. So I had tilapia and fried cassava. I can't remember what Raymond had, something similar. But we did have a wonderful time. Yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe for more, because there's more coming. I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to St. Vincent, and I've been to Barbados, and I've been to Jamaica. So if you want to hear these stories as well, subscribe for more. and have a wonderful day.